Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adeze and I'm a mommy blogger from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. I'm a YouTuber based in Port Harcourt. Anyway, I'm just going to cut to the chase and jump right into this video. Today's video is going to be a story time video, and I'm also going to give my thoughts concerning the Pastor Biodun and Busola saga. And yeah, this story, in fact, my story time is vex story time because it's out of vex that I'm telling this story. And part of the reason why I'm sharing this story is to tell the naysayers that sometimes rape cases, sometimes crime cases do not have to make logical sense, at least not to you, okay? And I don't even know why some people expect rapists to be logical. You expect a rapist to have sense. I mean, he's a rapist, okay? Let's just get that out of the way. He's a rapist, so you shouldn't expect his crime to have sense or to make sense because they generally have something missing in their head. Anyway, let me not rant too much. Let me just tell you guys my story. So basically what happened was, this happened to me when I was, I think, 17 years, which is sad. And what made me remember this story was when I was watching Busola's video. I just saw myself taking back to when I was that age and, you know, experiencing something a little similar because hers was really terrible. Mine is a little similar just because I was almost raped, okay? So how it all happened was, there was this day I just finished secondary school, and I remember clearly that I was going out that day and I wanted to print out some documents. You know how in those days we didn't have access to internet as much as we have now. So then I wanted to browse, I wanted to check some things, and I also wanted to print out some things. So I said, okay, let me go to the cyber cafe. And then my mom was not around, nobody was around in the house. So we had this family friend who I wasn't even close to in any way. He was a family friend. I think his mom and my mom were from the same village. They knew themselves way back, you know. They knew themselves a long time ago, so somehow we found ourselves living in the same area, so our families became kind of close. But me personally, I wasn't close to the children. I wasn't close to this particular guy. Me, I just knew him as, oh yeah, our families know each other, but I was not close to him in any way. So on that fateful day, as I was going to the cyber cafe, I remember passing my neighbor's house, and my neighbor was friends with this guy. They also went to the same school. So I was passing my neighbor's house and I saw my neighbor and this guy outside my neighbor's house. Should I give him a name? Okay, I'm going to give him the name Richard. Okay, Anyways, I'm going to give him the name Richard. So as I was going, I saw Richard and my neighbor outside, and then Richard asked me, he just greeted me, you know, like normal greeting. I wanted to pass because I remember like I said, I'm not close to them, so I didn't expect our greeting to even be longer than just hello, hi. I was about to pass, so he asked me, okay, where are you going to? I told him I'm going to the cyber cafe to do this, that, this. Then he said, okay, I'll see you when you come back. And I was like, anyway, I remember asking him why. He then said, no, don't worry, I'm sure you're going to come back soon now. I'll see when you come back. I was like, okay. I decided to, you know, go on my way. So I went to the cyber cafe, did what I wanted to do quickly. I wasn't really doing much. I did what I wanted to do quickly, and I was heading back home. I even forgot that I met him. I forgot that he said he was going to see me later or anything like that. So as I was coming back, I remember passing my neighbor's house and I didn't see him there. So I was like, what else, man? And I continued going until I got home. When I got home, shortly after, I heard a knock on the door, on our gate actually. I heard a knock on the gate. So I opened the gate and I saw him, and he was like, ah, you're back. Can I come in? Me, I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh sure. He said he wanted to see me, and he's a family friend. Mind you, he's a family friend. So I was like, oh sure, no problem. So he came into the house. I remember not locking the gates because sometimes we don't lock the gates in case somebody wants to come back home and like that. So I didn't lock the gate, and I didn't also close my front door. The parlor front door was just closed. It wasn't locked. So he entered into the parlor and sat down on the couch, you know. I was waiting for him to say something meaningful or something that, okay, maybe my mom sent me or whatever. Next thing, this guy started talking about, you know, how are you? How is, what did you go and do cyber cafe? I was like, not much. He now told me to sit down beside him. This thing I'm telling you, all these things that I'm narrating now, this encounter with him happened less than 10 minutes of him entering my house, okay? Just take note of that. Less than 10 minutes of him entering my house. He told me, okay, that I should come and sit down beside him. So I sat down on the same couch with him. Before I was sitting down on another couch. Sat down now on the same couch with him. He told me that I should come closer now. Now why am I sitting far? And me, there's something that always happens to me, and it used to happen to me a lot when I was younger. Like I was always putting myself in uncomfortable situations out of respect, out of I don't want to make the person feel bad. I even still do it up to now, and it's really sad, and something I'm praying to God to just help me change. But sometimes I put myself in uncomfortable situations, in situations that I know that this thing is clearly wrong, but I put myself there because I don't allow it to happen, because I don't want to make the person feel bad. I don't want to, you know, make the person start feeling uncomfortable to my own discomfort. Anyway, that's a story for another day. So he told me to sit down, I should come closer now. So I went closer to him, but I was very stiff. I can remember asking myself, what the hell is going on? Like, so I sat down close to him. He tried to put his arm around me, and I was far away. So he tried to put his arm around me and bring me closer to him. So I was just like this with his arm on my hand. I was just like that. So next thing I knew, this guy just, like, I kid you not, this guy just jumped up and started putting his hands all over my body, trying to put his hand up my shirt, trying to drag. Like I'm telling you, like it went from 0 to 100 real quick. Like trying to put his hand up my shirt. I was like, what's going on? What's wrong? What's going on? You know, he kept trying, he kept struggling. In fact, initially when it first started happening, my brain did not process what was happening. I thought it was just like a joke. I don't know how to explain it, a very sick joke, but I just thought, okay, is he joking or what? Or surely he's not trying to go there. Maybe he's just trying to see my... I don't know what I was thinking at that point. As I tried to put his hands off my shirt, he even managed to get his hands off my shirt. I remember removing his hands, pushing him. I ran to the wall. He told me to run outside the door. I ran to the wall because somehow my brain did not still process that, girl, they're about to rape you big time. So I ran to the wall. He came to the wall where I was, pulled me from the wall and pushed me to the chair. It was this part of the story that reminded me of Busola's own story. Okay, so he pushed me to the chair. I was just on the chair like this, and he jumped on top of me, kept putting his hands all over my body, my face, every single place, putting his hands. Next thing, he started trying to drag my jeans. Thank God that day I was just coming back from outside, so I wasn't really wearing anything stupid, because on a normal day when I'm at home I don't really dress well, I just dress anyhow. So but that day I still had my jeans on. It wasn't long after I came back that he came in, so I still had my jeans on. He was just trying to pull out my jeans, removed my belt, was trying to zip down my jeans. I quickly, you know, I was struggling, I was shouting. I told him, I'm going to call the neighbors, I'm going to shout, the neighbors are going to come here. Do you know what this goat told me? Go ahead, shout now. Go ahead and shout. And I was like, hey, is this guy joking? In fact, when he told me go ahead and shout, I was now mixed with fear, and my emotions were just all over the place. Fear just gripped me, because I was like, if this guy is not scared of me calling the neighbors, then only God knows what is happening. Like I was just 17, for crying out loud. Okay, in fact, I think I was still, no, I was 17. So he kept trying to pull my trouser down. His own belt was already open. He was trying to pull my trouser down. I remember kicking him with all the energy I could summon in my entire life. Like at that point, all the energy I could summon, I put them in my legs and I kicked him really hard. So when I kicked him really hard, he fell back to the wall. That's the wall he dragged me out from. He fell back to the wall, and he was like, what's wrong with you now? What's wrong with you? Why can't you just relax? That's what he was saying to me. And I remember that this guy is known as a bad boy, right? And I remember then hearing stories of people who were raped and killed in their house because they shouted, or because, you know, the person was trying to cover up his crime. I just started remembering all the horror stories of rape that I've ever heard in my entire life. So as I pushed him to the wall, he came back again with more energy this time. And you know, in most cases, women are not as strong as men. Especially in my own case, where I was just 16, 17, while he was 20 something. Like, I remember my arms feeling powerless. He held my arms down. I couldn't move my arms. He held my legs down. I couldn't move my whole body. I was just like, oh, is this how I'm going to lose my virginity? Is this how my life is going to go? I was just thinking of all the horror stories and all the bad ways it could have ended. Because this guy, nobody knew he was in my house. There was no, I didn't tell anybody that he was coming to my house. So I remember feeling so scared and so angry at myself, and so, you know, but I just told myself, you know what, even if this guy is going to get his way, he will not go scot-free. Like, if you're going to kill me, fine, no, but I'm going to maim you. If you're going to kill me, but I'm going to paralyze you. Like, that was what I kept thinking. So as he started, you know, pinning me down, trying to bring his mouth towards my mouth, that was when I now carried my 2 legs up, as I pushed my 2 legs up like this and pushed him again. This time as I pushed him, I jumped down from the chair and ran towards the door and opened the door. Now I was now outside my house but still inside our compound. So when I stood there, he now told me, and what's wrong with you now? Come back inside, Joe. Why are you causing a scene? Why are you being dramatic? Come back inside. I was like, is this one mad? That's why I say all people that are talking about the story doesn't make logical sense. The story does not sound like yang 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 yang. Do you think rapists have sense? Do you think that they have logical sense? What this one was trying to do to me, did it even make sense? Mind you, our gate was open. Oh. My gate was open, my front door was open. Still, he wanted to rape me in my father's living room. Anyway, so I remember opening the door and told him, leave my house right now, leave my house. He was like, what's wrong with you now? Wow, this one. Anyway, he shall put himself together and then he left. So as he left, I quickly locked the door, locked the parlor door. I remember sitting down on the parlor floor. I was so scared. I was shaking. I was crying. I felt so violated. I felt so bad. After a while, I stood up and went back to my room. You know, I didn't even change my clothes that day. I remember not changing my clothes for a very long time. Like, I was just, the way I was dressed was the way I remained for a very long time. So, but guess what, guys? Do you know that after all these things happened, I didn't tell my parents, I didn't tell my sister, I didn't tell anybody. But I remember then asking my sister that, how far with this guy? Do you know him very well? You know, I asked her some questions about him. She just told me, no, he's an okay guy. You know, she didn't sound like anything off, you know, had occurred between them or whatever. So I was like, okay. You know, so I was so scared. And you know the funny, you know the stupid thing? I didn't tell my mom because I felt that my mom was going to be disappointed in me and that nobody would believe me, and that, I mean, we're family friends. If I tell this story, it's going to turn into one big scandal. You know, I was even as I was a victim, I was still trying to protect my would-be rapist. I don't have to explain it, but I was still trying to. I hated him, not like I liked him or anything. In fact, from that period there, I dodged him with any way possible. I was always avoiding him, but at the same time, I didn't want to put him in trouble. Can you imagine? And this one that I wasn't close to, I wasn't close to him. We were not friends. There was nothing between us, and I was still trying not to, you know, make things escalate and become, you know, as bad as they could get. Because I felt, okay, he didn't actually succeed in raping me. Let me not talk. In fact, this story that I'm saying now is something that I have a lot of very odd stories to tell about my life, but sometimes I don't want to say them because I feel I'm not ready yet to tell those stories, and I don't want a situation where my parents, especially that some of these stories that I've not even told my parents. So I'm like, I've not told my parents, and now come on YouTube, I'm telling the whole world, you know. So that's why I've not done a lot of story time videos, because I have a lot of stories to tell you guys. Like me, that I always feel like my life is boring. I'm an introvert. I don't really have friends. I still have so many stories to tell. Anyway, so the good thing is that I still managed to tell my parents this story years later. I told my mom. I mean, when I say years later, I mean I told my mom, like, I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago, when she came for Kora's Omugo. That was when I told her this story. And the truth is, why I even summoned up the courage to tell her this story and so many other stories that happened to me. Now, why I summoned up the courage was when I realized that I'm now a mom. I have a daughter. That was in Kora's time. I have a daughter, and now I have 2 daughters. Okay, so I'm like, I cannot be trapped in that naivety anymore. I cannot be trapped in that what will happen. I cannot be trapped in that stage where I'm scared of the world, because right now I have 2 people that are depending on me. Okay, I have 2 people that are hoping that I will be there for them. I'll protect them. So I can't remain that scared little child that I was before. That's why now anything that happens, you best believe I'm spilling the beans. Okay, so yeah, so when it now comes to this Biodun versus Busola story, BB, very sad. There are some things that I saw online that really, in fact, throughout yesterday and 2 nights ago, that was yesterday, yeah. Throughout yesterday, I've been fighting on the internet, like I've been fighting on the internet, like I've been scrolling through Facebook, like giving it to people hot on their comment section. I even had to. There was one person that, well, his own was kind of expected, so I just unfriended him because I was like, you know what, there's really no point having such toxic posts in my timeline, because it was just getting me angry, and I refused to comment. I was like, you know what, let me just remove this person from my friends list. That's one of them. For some other people, it was expected too. I mean, their reaction wasn't so off from what I expect them to react to. I was just like, you know what, While some people, their reactions were so far left. Someone was talking about how Igbo people will not allow their wives to come out to do. Talking about Igbo people, I was like, what has Igbo people got to do with this one? Then there were some other people that their own reactions made me disappointed because I expected much from them, or there are people that I actually respect in real life. So when I saw their, in fact, you know what, social media just has a way of bringing out everybody's leg. Like if some of us really know how we sound online, we will not be posting some things that we post, you know. And in some cases that I feel, if you know that you're not going to side with the victim in some cases, I think it's better for you to just keep quiet and wait for whoever you're siding, that is, you're siding the rapist now or the alleged rapist. It's better for you to wait for that person to come out and talk or say something, you know, before you talk. That's how I feel. And some cases that even if you don't believe the victim, just keep quiet first, because when you come out to talk, you sound very foolish. You sound like an enabler. You sound like a rapist yourself. That's just the truth. Anyway, I'm getting so angry. So the first thing I want to address is people that are saying that the story has so many loopholes. And I'm trying to just explain to such people that, okay, let's look at it this way. You are saying she's lying because the story doesn't sound like how a rape case should be. It doesn't sound like Nollywood to you. Okay, fine. Don't you think that it also doesn't sound that way to Busola and her husband? If I wanted to frame a pastor, and I don't know why I'll just wake up one morning when I have my life going for me and things going well for me, I don't know why I'll wake up and want to frame a pastor. But let's just say I want to frame a pastor. Won't I make the story sound more believable to some of you? When I know my audience has all these intelligent people there, won't I come out with a more believable story? Won't I say things like he barged into my house, or no, he came into my house, he tricked me and told me to let's go to my room, and when we got there, he locked the door and brought out a knife and threatened me to keep quiet. I would have made the story more juicy so that you people believe me. But no, she decided to tell the truth, how it happened. And that story sounds very like I didn't have an upbringing. I come from a good home. I mean, to my own standards, I come from a good home. My father and my mother, you know, did not have any issues growing up. They were very good parents to us. I come from such a home. But even I could have easily been a victim to such circumstances. If you really understand, you know, how a 16-year-old mind works, especially if she narrates how the chain of events happened, you will see that this thing wasn't so. It's not such a strange story, because the man actually knew what he was doing. He was a grown-ass man, for crying out loud. He had a wife and a child, and this was not his first time. Nobody can convince me otherwise. This was not his first time, so he knew what he was doing. He came prepared with the crest drink. So how do you think that he has not scoped the environment to know that, okay, she's going to be an easy target? How come you don't know that he has done that? And this kind of person has already groomed her. He has already put this image in her head that he's her savior, he's a good person. So for him to just turn 180 all of a sudden, it is possible that she didn't have time to process what was happening to her. And people that are also talking about, why didn't she kick him, why didn't she do this one, why didn't she scream? Let me tell you guys something. In some certain situations, people react differently. There's a way trauma will come, there's a way danger will come that logically you're supposed to run away, but you will just stand there, you'll be frozen. It happens, you know. There are people that instead of to run, they just stand there, they won't scream. Some of them even try to scream, nothing will come out. And it's a mixture of shock, it's a mixture of a lot of things that make them react in such a way. So don't think that you always have the textbook reaction when things happen to you. Sometimes you don't have such reactions. So there are also some people that come out and say, why is she coming out now? Why did she come out since? Like, did you guys watch the same video that I watched? Didn't she explain how traumatic this situation has been? In fact, from what she was explaining, she said she's still going through it. She's still going through it. So for her to even come out now, I applaud her for coming out now. Even if she didn't come out now, even if she came out in 20 years time, I will still applaud her for coming out years later, because it's not easy to come out and say such a thing, especially considering people's background, considering that we're in Nigeria where things like this are looked upon like shame on the victim. This is a married woman that has 3 children and a husband that is famous. Do you think that this kind of publicity she wants? If you're looking for publicity, do you think this is that she actually really wants for herself? Then someone now told me on Facebook, the person said, he who is without sin should cast the first stone. Don't judge. I was like, excuse me, oh, I should not judge. But when killers and armed robbers are sentenced to death or are put in jail, you applaud. if nobody should judge because we are all sinners, then nobody should go to jail. Nobody should be prosecuted. Nobody should be judged in courts. Everybody should be walking around freely doing what they want to do. After all, we all sin differently. Just because you sin differently does not mean that that is rubbish. Okay? Yes, I sin differently. I did not rape anybody. Okay? So it's annoying. Some people say human beings are hypocrites. Yes, I might be a hypocrite. I might be the biggest sinner in the entire universe, but he still sinned. Okay, me being a hypocrite does not mean that the sin did not occur or the evil did not occur. It does not cancel. We are very good at deflecting in this country. In fact, human beings are very good at deflecting generally. When they bring up one A, you are bringing up B. Does me being a hypocrite? Does me someone said people are talking about rape this thing, meanwhile Buhari is building this thing, ranches for headsmen, blah 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 blah. I was like, okay, so because the headsman stuff is going on, then it means that he's innocent. Is what you're trying to tell me now? Because we have bigger issues in the society, because people are dying every day, because hunger is in the land, because the economy is down, then it now means that Pastor Biodun is innocent. I don't understand. How does it relate? Anyway, then another person now says, you are just jealous. Jealous of who, Bikonu? They were just jealous that the pastor is doing so well. And I'm like, that's person. In fact, I was just like, you know what? I just need to take a break from social media, because a lot of things that I've been seeing there just blows my mind. Like people are really incredible. Okay, all I'm just going to say, I just want to round up this video because I've ranted enough and I feel better now. Now that I've let out all my steam, I feel better. Anyway, all I'm just going to say is this. There was one of the biggest takeaways I had from watching her video was, she said a few years back she didn't have a voice, but now she has a voice. So all of you that are doing things to people's children thinking that they don't have a voice, just be careful. Just wait, because one day those voiceless children, those voiceless people that you think that you can do things to and get away with, one day you don't know where God is going to place them tomorrow, and they will come for you. Not only will they come for you, they will come for your whole family. So those of you that, I'm even relating this to so many things, those of you that will go and take someone's child as house help and start maltreating the person because the person comes from a poor home, the person doesn't have a voice, nobody to take care of the person. I mean, the person should be lucky to be in your house. Just continue, okay? Because tomorrow you don't know where that person is going to end up. Imagine if Busola hadn't married somebody like Timmy. Do you think she will come out? Or Timmy, what's his name? Yeah. Do you think she will come out to tell her story? What if she had married? What if she hadn't even gotten married? What if she had ended up, you know, dead somewhere or something? Her story will never come up. So those of you that are doing things to people now, thinking that because you have the upper hand, that you can do things and get away with it, just continue. Because you know what? Life has a way of getting you. Okay? Posterity has a way of getting you. Karma has a way of getting you. So when you're doing things to people, you better think twice before you go ahead and do some things. You better think twice, think 3 times, 4 times. Ask people around you for their opinion before you try some things, because you think that it's not going to happen. You think that you get away with it now. Just wait, because your time is coming. Okay? So anyway, I just honestly, I had to get this off my chest because I was really angry. I was really pissed. I mean, do you know, I slept with this thing on my mind, woke up with this thing on my mind, because I'm someone that has been a victim of child abuse. Okay, so I'm a victim of child abuse, I'm a victim of attempted rape. So when people are talking about all these things, I'm like, if you've not gone through it, if you've not experienced this thing, it's better for you to just keep quiet than for you to come out and say some really nasty things. It's better for you to just keep quiet. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also go and watch my other videos. I'm going to put them somewhere on the screen for you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.